Welcome to another week of Ether Raids. This is the first light season after Boulder, and we are now looking at a whole new meta. Let's see what we get off to this week. First off, we are taking on this Cav line, or iteration of it. Shouldn't be too difficult. As you can see, we got Black Knight up. It is fire season, so hopefully it's going to be an easy one, but let's see what Boulder has to say about it. But for this first match, it's going to be pretty straightforward. Going to throw Black Knight over the mountains, and I don't believe this should be a problem. Everything here should be pretty straightforward for him to handle. My only concern is, who do I leave alive? Hopefully Seliph. Hopefully Seliph will stick around. I don't know, but yeah, not a lot here that is threatening. Understood. It could be interesting if they set up in a way that will allow them to get triangle attack from Thea, but I don't believe that's going to happen. Black Knight by himself should be enough. Also, they could potentially try to sneak around and snipe one of my units in the back, but I don't think it's going to happen. We should be good like this. I'm just going to back up a little bit so that no one gets any of my front row units. The only ranged threats are on mainly the left side. I believe that Kavaser should reach, but the other two won't. Everyone else should run straight into BK, and then the challenging bit is also going to be how to get the pots at the end. Now, my concern as it relates to Seliph is I figured that he wasn't going to attack first, since he would have died. So now it means that he can just attack in perpetuity because he has that built-in miracle, similar to Brave Seliph. Of course, this is just an upgraded Brave Seliph. Side note, I was doing some testing. Before coming into this week, I did just a little bit of testing because I haven't been seriously deep into the game for a while now, ever since Black Knight came out. But ironically, I was testing against Black Knight, and lo and behold, still none of my units are able to kill him, really. No one really is able to kill him. I tried a lot of units, Brave Seliph as well, which is what the point was about this whole topic that I segued into. Brave Seliph has that he does more damage based off of how high the defensive bulk of the unit that he's attacking into is, which is great if he's just attacking into a regular armored unit. The downside is that there's so much flat damage reduction now in the game that even though he has this monstrous ability to do a ton of damage, it just gets reduced to 0, which is insane. I didn't think that would have been possible where we are, or back when he first came out and he was destroying Brave Edelgard and Brave Hector with 0 difficulty. He did 0 damage to Black Knight with 3 initiations, and actually died in a couple of them with Erica Ring, of course. It's insane the meta that we're in right now. I did not expect that to be the case. I did test with a few other units as well. I tried Legendary Micaiah, tried Emblem Micaiah. People are saying that they're able to do it with Emblem Micaiah. I certainly was not able to. I tried. I really tried. The only thing that I didn't do was equip Black Knight support, because of course that seems to be the primary solution to all of your problems now in this current meta, is just to run Black Knight. If you're running into a Black Knight problem, just bring out your own Black Knight and there you go, problem solved. Don't like that. Not the fondest of that particular archetype or particular line of thinking. So I was really trying to find something else that would work against BK, and there were a few things that popped up, a few things that stood out to me, and I was like, oh cool, that's really nice. That actually gives me an option to use, whereas before I had none whatsoever. Tamara, of course, but granted, she has to win the defense check, which is kind of difficult depending on who Black Knight is paired with sometimes. But overall, it was fruitful. I didn't do everyone that I wanted to do, but I was able to get, a few positives in terms of units that could actually perform. Not that many, to be honest. It was Tamara, and hopefully we get to use male Shez. What am I saying? Female Shez. later on in the week was the second one, because she is actually able, with support, to win. With support, she's able to win the defense check. But I guess the support doesn't really matter or not. It's really down to whether or not she can survive the counterattack. And that is also down to whether or not she is, or Black Knight is running Erica Ring. If she can win the defense check, then she can get a desperation hit off, which will allow her to basically take him out before he can counterattack. Otherwise, you got it. Well, overall, you got to run Miracle. Like, all of the testing that I did, none of the units were able to survive without Miracle. I think the only one that I was going to say the only one I did was Fallen Male Alir, but he has Miracle built in, and that was the only reason that he was able to survive. I tried it with another option would be that unit Malice from the Desert Banner. Desert Malice, she would be a good option as well. I just didn't give mine. It takes a bit longer to get. It's a little bit more difficult to run Miracle on her, as opposed to a few of the other options. You need a little bit more setup, but she is able to do it, and she does have the reflective damage. So I was considering, that pairing, but I didn't actually test it out just to see if it would perform well. I'm gonna stick with Shez for this week. Maybe I'll go back a little bit later, do some more testing, and see how some other units work. But for now, Shez is going to be the main one, since I needed a bonus unit for this season. So yeah, first mat is out of the way. Took out Neath Hoger there, to my surprise, but GG's. Alright, here's our second match of the day. We are up against... we're up against a pretty, boxed in team, I guess is probably the best way to describe it. I'm going to throw Black Knight up there again and basically just have him tank. This season, this is my highest scoring team, so potentially, or is potentially the word? I suspect that I will be using this team quite a bit. Not only because it's the highest scoring team, but also because Black Knight is on the team and he is very powerful. We're going to step on the trap here and hopefully break this block. If not, we'll get someone else to do it. Okay, we'll get someone else to do it. And then everyone should run into Black Knight, and basically he'll take care of everything else there. We got to be a little bit careful of Larather, but there's no range units, so we can at least have our mages close to BK and Seth a little bit further in the back in terms of setup. So it's going to be a little bit like this, and it should be fine. But yeah, back to what I was saying. There were a few other units that I had intended to test, but I just didn't get around to it. It's kind of cutting it close in terms of resets. And also just passing out from fatigue because I'm so tired. And if I fell asleep, I wasn't going to be able to play all of the matches. I was just going to keep putting it off. I would have been short again this week, or, well, it would have happened. What happened that last time would have happened this week if I had fallen asleep. So I had to get the matches in, all three of these in, before I passed out. And also I had to get team building done before I passed out, which is great because I only really had to put Peony on the teams, most of them, to make them function, and I always use Peony anyway, so yay. The downside was that the other options, I did want to mix up a few of them, but the other options, like looking at what was available, just wasn't ideal. I only have a few. I kind of wanted to try out, what's his face? Yuri, the new Yuri, Summer Yuri, but I was like, I'm not going to go back and pull on that banner just for one unit and just to try him out when he's probably going to die to Black Knight anyway. Also, Winter Shez was able to get the job done as well with support. All of these, every unit that was able to get it done needed support to be able to do it. There wasn't a unit that was able to just do it one versus Black Knight. All of them needed minimum Seth support for additional damage. So yeah, Winter Shez was able to do it. Was a bit more work than Legendary Shez, who was really just able to complete it. At least my build was able to get the job done pretty straight. I think I mentioned this back when he first came out,
Name a
that
target.
I did this actually, yeah.
Right.
That legendary female Shez was able to do it. I tried male Shez, but it's really the effective damage that's allowing female Shez to be able to take him out. So definitely I understand why that is the case.
Good morning.
And then and it's also a really good counter to Black Knight paired with Marth, because he only neutralizes the armor effective damage, but he's still an armored unit. Or is that what? No, it's based off something. Shez, for Shez it's a speed check. For female Shez, it's a speed check. So if she's faster by a certain amount, she gets additional true damage, or she gets the effective against all status effects. So which is not neutralized by Marth. So that was good to find out or confirm. And then I was trying to Leer, Winter Leer, did not work unless he enemy phase. He can't player phase Black Knight, because Winter Leer does not get the miracle in player phase, which was the most confusing thing. I was like, why is he dying? Where is the miracle effect? Why are you not better? And I read I read what his weapon did, and I was like, oh, this is only an enemy phase. And that's not what I wanted. I want someone who can player phase Black Knight, and so he was automatically out. Fallen Mailer can player phase. Crom can do it, but man, he has to survive the hit. And of course, Camilla can do it as well, but again, needs to either get Desperation off, which means winning the defense check, or just surviving the hit. So it's a lot of, like, I was halfway considering to run Fallen Maria this season on my team as just an extra option to get the miracle effect. I'm trying to figure out how to get the pots here actually. These armored units are kind of in my way, and I barricade means that it's difficult for me to warp around them, so this is a little tricky. Yeah, but anyways, I was thinking of bringing Fallen Maria into this season, but it's just an extra team slot, man, that I don't know how she would fit in. And then I was also considering bringing Summer Celica back into the swing of things for this season, but I just didn't want to re-bless her, so that wasn't going to happen. So she's still in Ather season. Actually, I should bring her over to light season. I don't know where she's going to be eventually, but she's still. I've come around on her. And I also didn't even realize that Magic Light was inheritable. I thought that was her preferential special, but her preferential is in the B slot. Magic Light is actually inheritable, to my surprise. Remember when we used to we really need some mage specials that pierce damage reduction, and now we have at least 2 of them, and they don't even matter because we're in a meta where specials are just devalued to that point. It's kind of crazy that they brought the game to this specific point before giving us exactly what we wanted, and now it's just nowhere near as good. It would have been so much better if they did that and then gave us Black Knight. It would have made a lot more sense to run Black Knight to counter something like that, but who knows what IS is thinking. But yeah, I did not know that Magic Light was inheritable.
I will try.
So that was great to find out. It gives me a couple of ideas for nuke builds in the future with some of my older nukes. Maybe even OG Micaiah, to give her some DR piercing so that she doesn't have to run Lagu's Friend, because that's not really her preferential B skill. She wants to do additional damage, so really something like a Cultist Strike for the OG Micaiah. I feel like all the Micaiahs have use cases. It's just how you build them and how invested they are, just because of the armor effectiveness. And armors are so strong right now. So yeah, I feel like all the Micaiahs have use cases. It's just whether or not there's a Marth there to prevent you from doing that armor effective damage. And also, if you're running Desperation or if there's Hardy Bearing, those factors come into play. I think I got to play here to be able to get that last pot. I don't want to miss any pots this season, because as of now, I have not rebuilt my defenses because I have failed thus far to free summon Boulder from the legendary banners, so I'm not going to be able to build a new defense for a little bit. It seems I'm going to stick with the one that I have. I kind of wanted to build something new for this season, but it makes no sense. You can't build something new without new units, you know? Or maybe you can, but I need her to make it work. GG's. Okay, here we go. Third match for the day. Let's see if we can get this one in the books, get out of here with a win. We're going to put it together. This is actually going to be very challenging. This is my first Black Knight for Lights, using the first bonus Black Knight, which means he has all of his stats, and also this is the first time we're playing against Boulder on offense, so we're going to see how this works. I really was considering using attuned Erica here. The problem is Vantage versus reflective damage, not a good combination for Erica, so I opted against that. And then the other play would have been to bring some type of ranged unit that would have taken out BK, but then I would have had to wait a couple of turns just to get that unit onto the board because of the summoning circle. And then also I'm not very confident if it would have worked or not because of the bonus stats, and the team that unit is on, Shez, is not very well supported to be able to, you know, take out Black Knight and then escape. It's not really a hit and run team. It's more of a tank team, so it wasn't really a great combination, that team. So yeah, just not a lot of options. I have a team, or I had in mind to put Happy on the team to be able to counter Black Knight with the AoE, but she's just not that great, or that's not her specific role. Her role is really more geared towards taking out Neathhoggers, which she does fantastically well. But yeah, this is going to be a challenge. Hopefully I can get us to work. I'm thinking I have to stay out of Embla's range, or no, I missed Embla. Loki's range. Loki is a massive problem for this team because there's a sizable amount of status effects here to help buff up my Black Knight. So I really got to stay away from Loki because she will eliminate those bonuses. There's really like 4 bonuses, but she only needs to get, 3 is the requirement for her thing to activate, and yeah, that would strip Black Knight of all of his effects, and it will allow the enemy team to attack without consequences, because he needs, particularly Sigurd, he needs the healing to survive, the AoE. So yeah, we're gonna, or at least that's what I'm considering with the positioning of the team here. Yeah, I'm just double checking the skills actually, just to make sure that there is nothing really crazy here. I'm like checking the ranges because I would rather not have to deal with Happy plus Sigurd on the same turn, because it affects my positioning a lot. I have a lot of ranged units on this team, so I'm thinking of going melee first. I'm thinking Sigurd has the most range here, so if we can get Sigurd off the board, then we can figure out the ranged units afterwards and then take it from there. But man, the big problem here is Loki. She is essentially the lost condition here. If I position poorly and get caught in her sphere of influence, I'm definitely going to lose. But aside from that, I think Black Knight should be able to survive against most of the things here. I just gotta get my my bearings right. Happy and Loki are the only ranged units, which Black Knight beats both of them. It's just, you know, order of operation, who goes first, who you know, how much HP he has when they attack, and whether or not he has a status effect. So that's really what I'm trying to map out here. I think I have something that should work, but yeah, I'm a little bit mixed up in terms of how far Sigurd is going to go. I might be miscalculating his range here. I can't bait over into the 3x3 column, 3 row, 3 columns that Loki is covering. So it's either one of the two, the first row, the first column, or the second column. Those are my 2 options. So I think this spot should be good. Okay, so no, the spot was not good. I got it completely wrong, which means I've messed up, and I don't know how to fix this now because Black Knight no longer has all of the status effects that I have available to him here, and I think he's probably going to need them. I'm a little bit scared of what could potentially happen with him versus Boulder, although I don't think Boulder is that big of a threat offensively in terms of when she's attacking into Black Knight. I think Black Knight will be able to survive that. But I don't want to take the chance just yet. I was really hoping to get Sigurd there, but I think I've messed this up and I don't know how to recover just yet. Because I think I'm going to have to waste a turn to get Black Knight in range, to get empathy, to get the rune support, essentially. Primarily empathy. But then if I put him over here, he gets hit by the Loki debuff, so... that was the range. Can't be like that. I have to move Rune out of the way. So I guess let's start breaking stuff and going up instead. Maybe there's a potential play if we get the extra slot unit that they have over there unlocked or exposed. Maybe we can take that out and then force the defense to move and then see where it leads to from that. Maybe someone will be exposed. This isn't really the most threatening defense if you really look at it. The biggest concern here, or for all of my teams, is the enemy Black Knight and the fact that I don't really have a counter to that. Which is why I wanted to place Black Knight where he can get as much support as possible, because there is the reflect damage component of it, which could potentially lead to a loss.
Ready.
So I'm trying to take on, just one at a time. We could potentially take out the Sigurd in one hit. So that's what I was banking on or hoping to happen. And then everyone else, I think we would need multiple hits to take out, especially Boulder. And Boulder on the second hit, I'm pretty sure would be able to take out RPK with all of the true damage and additional stats that she's going to get from the Black Knight support there. So it's not the greatest idea to tank her specifically until she's away from enemy Black Knights as far as possible. But I think this is probably going to have to be the best approach. Let's see who pops up from this. Ooh, okay, not the worst. We can take out this guy or girl. I'm so confused by this one sometimes. I think it's a girl, actually. We can take her out. Vantage, but I mean, we should still be able to handle it. There we go, yeah. Just a little bit of damage, nothing crazy. And I think, or at least with this, we'll force the defense to move, and then hopefully there will be someone exposed to our tactics, our threatening tactics. So that's the play here. Hopefully this works in my favor. So I believe the dancer is Plumeria, or the 7th unit is Plumeria. So you shouldn't be able to dance anyone, I don't think, since she's locked.
Name a target.
So this should be safe to do. So my win condition here, if the enemy Black Knight is the last unit on the map, Hearthfulger is the one that I'm going to depend on to be able to take out the enemy Black Knight. Although I don't know, since she's outside of bonus season, I don't know if she's still going to be able to do it. I didn't actually test with her. Well, actually, no, I did. She lost. She lost very badly to the counterattack. So she just wasn't able. She did so much damage that she wasn't able to survive the retaliation. So she really needed like trample or something to get the desperation effects. But then Hardy Baron winning the defense check, it's a lot to consider. It's really difficult taking out Black Knight, man. He's such an annoying opponent. I heard they're making an Office remake, if no one was aware. I don't know if it's a remake or a spin-off. I think spin-off would be... Oh, right. She has that one skill that I really want on my Sedith that allows you to warp. Oh, I did not anticipate that.
That's my edge.
I did not at all anticipate that happening. Ah, geez, he's gonna do it again. That sucks. Yeah, I think I played this a little bit too scared. I should have been a bit more. How were you able to dance? What? I should have been a bit more aggressive there in my play, but, you know, low-key. How is Plumeria able to dance there? She's a 7th unit that does not activate unless all of the other 6 move, but clearly that's no longer the case. How did she dance? That should not have happened. Oh, this is a loss. I'm just confused as to how Plumeria did that. Like, yeah, it's right there. He's the 7th slot unit. And she should not have been able to move because of that. So I guess that's something... Was that because of the extra slot mechanic? Also, Boulder enables the summoning circle on defense now, so that's something that I gotta get onto my defense as well, so I can have an extra unit. But I didn't consider that as a interaction that could potentially happen. I didn't know that if you do that, then that would lead to that. Okay, so we get that. Also, Saline was able to take out Black Knight with support. Yeah, let's get out of here, man. GG's, you beat me.